In our review of the literature surrounding competency-based learning and open educational resources, a variety of issues were unearthed, including the access, equity, and affordability of courses and textbooks, the best way to assess learning, and how we assign credit for learning. The connection to personalized learning, however, proved most cogent to my context as a K-12 teacher, as well as to my research focus on technology-enhanced student-centered learning. This presentation will discuss the contours of the arguments made in support of this trend, how it relates to online teaching and learning, as well as to my professional context, and my conviction that personalized learning, as it is traditionally understood, is only possible under unique circumstances. As the New Media Consortium's 2015 K-12 Horizons report identified, personalized learning refers to the range of educational programs, learning designs, instructional approaches, and academic support strategies intended to address the specific learning needs, interests, aspirations, or cultural backgrounds of individual students. Patrick, Kennedy, and Powell's 2013 report, Mean What You Say, further articulates how personalized learning changes the dynamic of the relationship between student and teacher, giving students greater agency and putting teachers in the position of tailoring instruction to each individual student through learning paths and the creation of a flexible instructional environment. Proponents of personalized learning often ground their argument in the learning sciences. They note correctly that learning is highly individualized, with each person understanding and interpreting knowledge through their own interests, backgrounds, and prior knowledge. Creating a more personalized approach to learning, therefore, taps into those innate individual differences to help maximize the learning potential for each student. In their 2014 book, Adding Some Tech Variety, Bonk and Koo further note how personalized learning can facilitate more effective feedback, create stronger engagement in learning, and help students construct a deeper understanding of the knowledge. Finally, by providing students agency in determining their educational goals, personalized learning is said to support greater access to learning, especially when personalization is paired with online learning. The concept of personalized learning has evolved over time. As Benjamin Harrell noted in a 2016 article, personalized learning initially emerged in the late 1970s as an element of mastery learning, which emphasized breaking tasks down into smaller units of learning, providing immediate feedback upon completion of tasks, and providing students with alternative learning opportunities if an initial strategy did not seem to be working. Critics at the time argued that such approaches were too rigid and mechanistic, relying on strict standards of rote memorization common within behaviorism, rather than deeper evidence of learning emphasized by cognitivists and constructivists. The trend also failed to take off with classroom teachers, owing to the time and effort personalization seemed to entail when working with 30 or more students. The growth of the internet, as well as the ready access to digital tools for learning and the creation of digital learning environments, which the internet facilitates, has, however, facilitated a new interest in personalized learning. Bonk and Koo, as well as the 2013 NMC Horizon Report for K-12 education, emphasize how digital tools can reduce the workload of teachers trying to implement a personalized approach, facilitate differentiation between students of all ability levels, all while providing immediate assessment results that can be used to tailor student learning on a level never before possible. In short, at a surface level, digital technology seems to provide the tools needed to make personalized learning possible for students today. As an educator and as a researcher, however, I am skeptical of these claims. In reviewing the NMC Horizon reports for K-12 education between the years 2012 and 2016, personalized learning moved from being an emerging trend to being a difficult challenge, and then to being labeled as a wicked challenge. While the technology has consistently seemed promising, the realities of the technology are not living up to the hype. Learning analytics systems and other forms of real-time assessment do not yet have capacity to help teachers truly differentiate instruction on the spot as advocates for personalized learning envision. Online learning tools designed for personalized learning still rely too heavily on drill and practice forms of instruction, as Benjamin Harrell noted in his 2016 article. This stands at odds with the more constructivist and sociocultural approaches to teaching which are steadily being promoted in K-12 schools. Furthermore, any move toward personalizing learning would seem to require revision of established policies in education. The emphasis on standards and standardized testing and accountability will continue to turn off teachers who see personalization as too much work and a distraction from the content and skills that students need to master for their accountability tests. This is especially true in considering class size, which, at least in California, has only continued to climb in recent years. To advocate that I, as a classroom teacher, should personalize the learning for all 104 of my students today is honestly an intimidating thought. As hard as I try to meet individual student needs, truly personalizing their learning would be a daunting and impractical proposition. Add to this the reality that most teachers have little to no training with regards to personalized learning. Thus, to make personalized learning practical in K-12 schools, education policies will need to de-emphasize accountability measures, emphasize lower class sizes, and ensure appropriate training for all teachers in this pedagogical practice. Finally, for personalized learning to become a reality, there must also be a stronger consensus on how to define the practice. As Kavanaugh notes in a 2014 article, the term personalized learning tends to have multiple meanings depending on who is using it. Some, like Patrick Kennedy and Powell, use the term to define a pedagogical approach in which technology is used to change the nature of learning toward an individual approach for all learners. Others, like Bonk and Co., perceive personalization as an extension of online or blended learning, which provides aspects of individualization depending on the needs and desires of the learners. Within student-centered learning, however, personalized learning is more often looked upon as giving students a choice in defining the problems they focus on, as well as the means by which they present their findings with regards to those problems. In this respect, personalized learning is an element within a larger pedagogical package that includes collaboration, metacognition, and authentic tasks. This student-centered approach, I believe, is more realistic in the current political and technological environment of public education. Emphasizing student choice allows teachers to modify instruction within the confines of existing technology, places the practice solidly within the realm of constructivist practices that align with many of the more recent accountability measures, including the Common Core state standards, and is less intimidating to classroom teachers who can facilitate whole class instruction while accounting for individual differences without having to personalize content and curriculum for every student on their roll sheet. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. I look forward to your comments.